You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? What are you talking? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog.
All right now, people. Hot Facts with Robert Reach, people. This is a man. You know what's crazy? I'm glad you guys are tuning in. You know what's crazy about this. This is Hollywood gig news. As you guys see, Pedro DoorDash Santiago spoke too soon. Loose lips sink ships. Now, I just premiered a video of him going on his live stream last night talking about how he pulled up on him. He knew just where he was going to be. He pulled up on him. I told you guys, they saw each other eye to eye or something, and they both went up to each other, and Gig Machine was telling him what he's not going to allow, what he's not going to accept. Pedro was like, ain't none of that. This is all entertainment. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. After all that stuff went down, all that was good there, right? That's what Pedro told him. Pedro then goes on his live stream and says, you know what? I'll pull up on anybody. I'll pull up on everybody. Everyone knows it's just entertainment. It's YouTube. Pedro also said that, you know, the energy is not the same. Real Talk with Roy said he must not be that tough. You have all your teeth. And I was like, damn, he's speaking too soon also. Real Talk with Roy is speaking too soon also. Pedro also said, man, I'm here to help people. All you have to do is, you know, pay attention to me pretty much. I know he's driving all these hours. He's out here all damn day. He's got 2 boys. Just like you got mad about people talking about your family, and remember the thing with UDM that happened with you and UDM. You know, you told UDM to go take care of his kid and all this other stuff. You don't bring people's kids into anything, Pedro. Now, a lot of you guys don't know that that's what Pedro did with UDM, and UDM had to check him for it. UDM checked him for it. Pedro tried to kiss his butt, and they became like, okay, let's try to do some content with each other and all that stuff. Pedro, you don't go tell another grown man, hey, you got 2 boys. You're out here all day. Go ahead, do some YouTube, make $500, and you can take 2 days off from doing things and be there with your boys. You don't do that, man. You don't do it saying, hey, man, the energy is not the same. I'll pull up on anybody. Look, I pulled up and I talked to him. I spoke to him, and it all went like that. Well, here's the thing. You know, I spoke to him also. I went to his live stream, and he said, Reese, he said, Robert, you know, it was over before it, before it went. He obviously didn't see Pedro's show. I was like, oh, all right. I said, you'll watch my video. I said he pretty much put you in your place, man. Pretty much in words like that. He pretty much that everything is like that. But when you watch the video of what Pedro did, Pedro is bragging like he pulled up on him. He checked them. Your energy ain't all like that. If you're trying to go ahead and do something, I'm going to show you. Like he was trying to be his life coach, trying to explain to him how to do his dashing, and he don't got to do it the same way that he does and all that other stuff. That's why in the video, he pulls up to Pedro, and Pedro says, what are you talking about? Pedro, you can't be doing this slick ass, sly ass Pedro shit with brand new people, and they don't know what's going on. They go back and watch things. You say certain things that really got you some heat. You really got you some heat with somebody in your area. Now, if this is not heat, now Pedro did go on and say everything's good. Big Machine said it was good, but he also had some words for Pedro inside the Papa John's. He checked them. He checked Pedro in the Papa John's. Now, both those drivers, we know that the Gig Machine don't carry a bag, so they probably don't know that he was a delivery driver, but Pedro does. Do they have a tablet inside that place, and are they going to report Pedro for causing an altercation or a scene? Remember my top 5 things? One of them was things to not do. I said fighting with customers and merchants and drivers. Well, look, Pedro had an altercation with the driver inside Papa John's. Now, if we go right back, people, I had an incident, me and my wife, at Taco Bell with the conspiracy theorists who thought we were gang stalkers, and everyone said, HotFacts staged this. It was all staged. He'll do anything for clicks and views. HotFacts will do anything for clicks and views. Well, people, do you guys think Pedro staged this? Remember we went over Side Hustle Addict when he called the police, when he staged his attack, that a customer was attacking him? Bam, this is different. This is driver on driver. Now, if you think Pedro staged this and he made it up for clicks and views and content, like you all say I do, if you think Pedro made this up, give a 1 in the chat. If you think that, this was real, leave a 2 in the chat. But we all do know that it seems like when Pedro said I pulled up on him, I checked him, I did all this stuff, it seems like Pedro planned this. And it was staged. Now, if I staged a real police officer with the real police record of the incident, if I staged that and ain't nobody talking about it, and they said I did that for clicks and views, did Pedro pull this off inside of a Papa John's for clicks and views? Now, we did see him with the delivery bag. At least he's telling the truth about keeping their stuff the way it is, but we don't think he's like, you're a miserable human being, you're going to get your stuff like cold, because he had a pizza bag. He had a pizza bag. Pedro had one, y'all. But do you think he staged it? Everyone says Pedro was all in for clicks and views, but you all castrated me for a real life incident with the police officer and 2 crazy people. Everyone, well, a lot of people said, I think it was staged. HotFacts did everything. HotFacts had, you're a stager. You're a stager. You staged it. Now, all you people that suck Pedro's toes, did he stage this after he said everything is good? Did he stage it? I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. Did Pedro stage it? And why is he staging things for content like that? Remember, I said, No Bumper TV said, you ain't just go come up and laugh at me like that in my face. Pedro tried to smooth it over, y'all. He tried to be diplomatic and then go slide talk behind his back. People watch things. I would not talk like that with someone in your same area. You already see what his static is all about, Pedro. It would be a dumb thing for you to go on a live or make a video and say, this guy's a big ass clown. Oh, I'll never, Pedro, you compared to him look like the number 10. It was ridiculous. It looked like the number 10 or 01. That dude is way bigger than you. You look like olive oil from Popeye compared to that dude. He said, you're a lightweight. He said you ain't about that. Now, this lets us know, people, that when the gig machine said that my brother already checked him at the bread company about him putting us in his videos while he's there, that means that his little brother did check him, because I guarantee his little brother's got the same energy as him. So we know that Pedro's been going around St. Louis getting punked, and he ain't been telling nobody that. But this is what happens when you run your mouth. Now, Real Talk with Roy was like, yeah, this guy ain't the king of nothing. He ain't the king, what Roy says. He ain't the king of dick. He don't even use a delivery bag. I already got him about the delivery bag. He says he don't use them. It is what it is. But Roy had some few words. Roy also said that he's not as tough as he is because Pedro still had his teeth. Well, right after that, and going ahead and see that, he probably saw Roy said that, you know, I'm an opportunist and all this other stuff, man. Hey, Pedro, and hey, Roy. Roy, he may have some words for you. Now, people are like, why is Roy in this? Remember, Roy said that he is the king of drama. Roy inserted himself last night by clicking on Pedro's thing and talking about it. So he inserted himself, and that's why he is part of this Hollywood Gig News also. Now, the retaliation or the words that the gig machine may have for Roy might bring some light out and help his channel grow a little bit too, because we already know that the No Bumper TV is growing very, very fast. Daphne with John growing very, very fast. 460 subs in 38 days, 39 days, growing very fast. This is the way for you guys to go ahead and maybe get some new subs. I know Torp was upset. He made a video yesterday talking about Reese is putting up basketball and sport polls, and he's doing polls about people we don't know about. Torp even called one of them tits. The dude didn't even see that, Torp, so he don't care about it. You also said, why am I pinning these two up against each other? Torp, I did not make Gig Machine make those videos, and I did not make Pedro make those videos. I'm just a news channel. Torp, you also said you control the drama. No, you don't, because you ain't been covering this, because you don't know how. All you do is rant. You don't know the ins and outs of this story. I've been talking to the Gig Machine. I've been doing the stories. I'm the official news channel who is covering this. Now, I put up a poll that said, is Mr. Flex going to come to Pedro's aid how he normally does? I said, is Mr. Flex going to come to Pedro's aid like he normally does? And people said, no, let him fight his own battle. Now, Mr. Flex, you get mad at me and everybody else for going at Pedro. Now, are you going to go at the Gig Machine and do what you always do? You'll probably run because you see what he did to Pedro, and you're like, dang, if he did that to Pedro, he'll do that to me too. So, you know, I'm just asking you. But it wasn't Flex. It was Real Talk with Roy up there on the camera saying this guy don't know this guy don't know that. And that's how that played out. But people, you got to understand, when someone goes and says, yeah, I'll pull it up on somebody, people, I'll pull up on anybody. When they start talking like that and then saying, trust me, you can go ask him. And then Pedro should have left it there. Trust me, you can go ask him. Because when I spoke to him on his live, he said, Robert, all that stuff was done before it started. He should have left it there. But all the extras he said in that show later, and had Real Talk with Roy up there, someone watches that and they listening like me. Pedro was trying to make it seem like he don't know what he's been doing. He's been dashing for 5 years. He says he does 100 hours a week. Sam Lee out here does that stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with Sam. So how you gonna tell this dude how to run his program and he's doing it? You said, man, I'm trying to show him. I want him to be around his boys more. He's doing too many hours. He can make $500 on YouTube and spend 2 more days with his sons. You don't do that, G. You a man, Pedro, and you got a daughter. You got mad. You got mad and told UDM to go take care of his kids and all that stuff, man. You got mad when someone brought up your daughter on a little thing. Eli said sorry about a miscarriage, and you went nuts on Eli, hopped on my live stream because you were Pedro with a hoodie on. You tried to blame me for Eli talking about his feud with you. You got mad about that, actually. You got mad about that. And you said you're going to fly out to San Francisco. That's crazy. I want y'all to know that I could have used my own video for when Pedro hopped in on my live, but I wanted to give credit to On the Up and Up, which is another channel that was doing some pretty good news, and I like their narration on how that went. So I actually used the Up and Up's version of their article on my channel because another channel was covering me. So I did that. And also, people, I'm sharing ad revenue with the Up and Up because of that video. I could have easily said no, because in my description I said I'm using the Up and Up, the Up and Up by way of Hot Facts with Robert Reese via my show, but I let them know that I allowed them, and they gave the the shared revenue. They gave the shared revenue, so I'm sharing ad revenue with the Up and Up for a video that I did with Pedro Santiago about him, because another news station was covering my news station and Pedro hopping in. Pedro had all the smoke for Eli. When Eli just mentioned something and he said, don't talk about my family and don't do this and that, the thing with you to him and everybody else, Pedro always says, you don't do that. I will go ahead and step up and do all that, but you go tell this dude, I'm trying to save you from doing what you're doing. You're working too hard and no one needs to do that. No one has to do that. Go ahead and spend some more time with your boys and your kids. Pedro, oh my goodness, you of all people should know, because you already had altercations with people bringing in kids, and you go do that with this dude. That's why I put up Big K. He looked just like him, he sound like him. And by the way, people, in that premiere, I dropped some bars in there, and I threw up a track that I dropped some bars on, so it's in the middle of that, and it starts off, most these niggas is weak. You can note that. They claim to be gangsters, but they don't even clap gats. Listen up, I'm a soldier, nigga. I spit them things and throw these from the shoulders, nigga. It don't matter what you talking about, get out my way. You little busters about to feel my pain. You getting stomped out, kicked all in your teeth. I guess you ain't heard about me. California stay spitting that heat. I'm a maniac. Grand black shine to my head, to my feet. I got chucks on my feet, shell toes and Cortez. Levi's, Dickies, khakis, you know this. People, I dropped them bars in there for you guys so you guys can hear them. Welty, go take a look at that. Welty, go take a look at that. I had to put that in because that's how Pedro was coming across. Pedro was coming across like he was a big tough guy. I'm going to use my YouTube presence and squash this dude. Tell this dude, I'm trying to help you. I can lead you here. I can lead you there. You ain't leading that dude here. You ain't leading that dude there. You made it seem like you went and just, you corporated him. And once he saw that, he had some issues, man. And guess what he did? How you said that, you pulled up on him. Well, what we just witnessed was he pulled up on you in the Papa John's, and Pedro says, what are you talking about? You put your hand up, and he smacks your hand down, Pedro. That's how I know you don't want that smoke. But a lot of people blame me and said that my incident at Taco Bell was staged. How many of you guys think this was staged? Be real about it. How many of you guys think that this was staged? It was not staged because he slapped Pedro's hand down. Now, the guy knocked my phone down. He didn't touch me. You touch me, it's a different story. That's why Pedro was like, what are you talking about? That is a fight he did not want. He from 55th and what he said, he from 55th and something. He from the real South St. Louis. That's where he's from. And Pedro realized that. And when Pedro walked out, he's holding it so people can see it's Pedro all the way. Pedro was like this big, man. That Mr. Bet on You tattoo, man, might have saved your life right there, man, because that dude was gonna get all up in your ass, Pedro. He was gonna get all up in your ass. And then he said, boy, stop playing with me. I'm here for opportunity. I'm opportunistic. He said, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You know you don't want to play with me. You know you don't want to fight me. Pedro said, what are you talking about? Do you see his face, how shook he was? But this is what I mean. A lot of people get up here 3,000 miles away. They do all this crazy stuff. And they talk knowing that they're not going to see these people unless you go to a gig con. You guys do know that that's why they don't let certain people into the gig con, and they said it's for everyone, because there's a lot of smoke that can happen, and someone can get beat up when someone pulls up to the gig con and all that smack he was talking. You don't want to be able to get up there and somebody say, oh, hey, all that was internet, man. All that was internet. All them harsh words, me calling you a bitch and me saying this and that. All that was just YouTube. No hard feelings. It don't work like that, especially when you got somebody in your neck of the woods. It does not work like that. you will get smacked. Hollywood gig news. Pedro speaks too soon. Loose lips sink ships. That's exactly what happened. Now, all you guys, when Pedro does all that tough talk, you know, man, anybody come up on here, man, and all that stuff, people, all that was fake. All that was fake. I explained why I didn't beat that guy up at the Taco Bell. That was the content. He didn't touch me. We already called the police. They were already on their way. I'm filming that. I had to be the bigger man to show that black people just don't act all out. He didn't touch my skin. He didn't touch me. When I said do it again, he said, no, I am not. Also told him, take your little small, short, little man syndrome ass over there. He said, I am none of that. He already knew. He already knew. And I asked him, do it again. I was really going to give it to him, but I was filming. I was going to drop it there. But I want the police to see that the black dude was not out here acting like a fool in front of all these white folks. That is what was going on. Okay? That is what was going on. So now you guys got to understand this. You got to understand this. Pedro. I advise you to stop doing all that talking. And once again, when William Manderson went out there and beat you in that head-to-head battle, you know, it was not filmed. Nothing was out there. We didn't know what happened, man. We did not know what happened. He went out there and beat you. You know, this guy is really in your zone. He ain't got to drive from one spot to drive to another spot and go ahead and do all this other stuff, Pedro. He ain't got to go ahead and do all that. He's right there. You could be at the Papa John's just how that was, Pedro. Now, here's the craziest thing. Are you going to get what Eli says, a RO? Are you going to get a restraining order against No Bumper TV because you're afraid of him? Is that what's going to happen? To where if one of you guys are in a restaurant, the other one can't go in because an altercation might happen. Now, Pedro, you did have a delivery bag. And I don't know if that Papa John's has a tablet, but, you know, you were involved in an altercation. And we all know that Lisa Surley looks for altercations to get people fired. Maybe Lisa Surley might give that call on Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Maybe that'll happen. No Bumper TV was just in there as a customer or someone that saw somebody he had beef with. That's all it was. No delivery bag, no Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash thing on him. He's just there with his phone. But Pedro was there with the DoorDash bag picking up pizza. Oh my goodness. He's on camera, altercation. Now it looks like, you know, the person walked in and did that to Pedro. Pedro could get saved by that. But if a restaurant is like, hey man, you know, he made a scene in front of my customers and we lost like 2 customers. We don't want this guy coming here. Guess what's going to happen? DoorDash may go ahead and whoop, whoop, whoop. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what is going to happen with Pedro DoorDash Santiago. But all I know is this. He spoke entirely too soon. He was celebrating, popping the champagne off. Woo, I handled this good. You know, he closed the door and just sat down behind the door like, oh my goodness, this is over. When he thought it was over, he actually went and started talking more crap about the guy, low key and sly. So since he did that, he got a whiff of it and he confronted Pedro inside of the Papa John's, people. Here it is. Here it is.
Pedro, go. No, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog! Stop it! You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog! Pedro, go. No, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog! Stop it! You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog! Pedro, go. No, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog! Stop it! You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog.
Now, as you see, Pedro was in there waiting to get his order. When he was out the door, he did not have a pizza in his bag. So did he cancel the order because he was scared and walked out, and that's what he said when he was walking out? Or did he walk out so he don't get deactivated for causing a scene inside the restaurant? Chances are it's both of them. He didn't want to create a scene in a restaurant to get deactivated, and he was scared. And all that talk when he was like, how big is Eli? He might be 5'5". He's not 5'9". Everyone's bigger than him. We all know Eli can't fight and all that other stuff. Damn, I think you used a little bit of Coach Eli's training right there in coaching to get out of the area and do what you got to do. You tried to leave. Those were perfect Coach Eli tactics and strategies. Altercation happens. Act like you don't know what's going on and leave the premises. That's exactly what you did, Coach Eli one-on-one. That's what you did. You did that, but he followed you on the outside. So I do believe you were a little scared, and I do believe you were trying not to have an incident happen there, but it was already too late. And turn around and look, and that's why he said, you don't want to fight me, dog. Obviously, when his brother checked you, he checked you with emotion and some anger, and there's still something there. I don't know what you said in the past that had him get that upset with you. From what the past shown, you said you ran into him before. I don't know what you guys have done in the past. Don't know. But all I do know is that brother was not playing around with you. He was not playing around with you. And do believe that you're going to get a lot of people that say it was staged. And for those of you who don't know, I actually yesterday, when I did the other video, I said I want you guys to tune in to Pedro DoorDash Santiago at 7 p.m. so we can hear his reply to No Bumper TV. I even promoted it because I did the video. Guess what? He did it in the beginning. He should have left it there. Then he brought it back up again. I think that was his downfall. He got too cocky by bringing it up away. Now he had more people in the live chat, so he had to pump up his chest a little more. Remember when I said he gained 20 or 30 pounds? He pumped his chest up a little bit more, and he did it again, and that was the downfall. You don't do that, G. And then if you're going to do that, Pedro, at least give it to only certain people can watch the video. Do it for members only, because if he sees that, it's a wrap. And that's what happened. And, I think, a big part of that came from Real Talk with Roy, too. I think Real Talk with Roy had a big part to do with that by talking and saying that, he's not that tough, and saying that saying that you got all your teeth, he ain't that tough. Someone will look at that and be like, I'm not that tough. You got these people sitting out here making fun of me, saying I'm not that tough, all from you talking crap. So he had to go ahead and check you. He had to go ahead and check you and get that done. See if Mr. Flex is watching me. See if Mr. Flex is watching me on the screen about this, just to see. Now I'm still waiting to see if Mr. Flex, does he have Pedro's back? If Mr. Flex is gonna go on there live right now and say, oh, that douche, man, I wonder if he's gonna do all that. He does that with everybody else. He does it with everybody else. That's what he does. That's what Pedro does. I mean, that's what Flex does. He does it with everybody else. Let's see if he's going to come to Pedro's aid. Let's see. Now, I want that same energy that Flex carries. Oh, it's just showing him in the background. Yeah. Flex is going to be, it said, because it said the lounge, I got the notification. So it said the lounge just started. And I'm trying to see if he's going to be, sharing this on his screen. So go ahead and do what he has to do. But Flex, you're on the chopping block next. You are his number one defender. You are his handler. And then, I think Roy stepped in for you by saying a few words, but we all know that Mr. Flex has a few words for this gentleman. And is he really going to do it? We've seen in the past that Mr. Flex in the Hollywood gig news scene, people, he has a hard time not checking people for Pedro. So this is going to be a very, 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 very difficult thing to do. Is he going to show his allegiance like he normally does? or is Flex gonna tuck his tail also? It's Pedro going to advise him to tuck your tail, Flex. Don't get involved with this. And if that's the case, why didn't he stop Roy for saying, you ain't the king of this, you ain't the king? Why didn't he stop Roy? Because like you said, you want everyone to make money. Now, this dude is talking about delivery work. Roy does delivery work. Roy has probably pizza bags or carrying bags for delivery on what he does with the company that he's working for. You know, he does all that. He's not doing this gig work, but he's still doing delivery work. So he still can talk about something. So it's not like the gig machine and be like, man, you don't even do delivery work or this and that. Roy still does delivery work. He's just doing it on the W-2 side and getting it in. But Roy's mouth and what he says, Roy says, I'll say whatever else I want to say. Ain't no one going to stop me. All that is fine and dandy. You can do that all you want. But my thing is, you made it seem like the guy is not, you made it seem like the guy is not that tough. And obviously the guy is tough. Obviously the guy is tough. He's not a punk, and he had to confront he had to, and he did it in the Papa John's. So the video is up. I want to see Pedro do a collaboration video on that. I want to see him go to the store and do a collaboration on that and say, people, all this was fake. It was all staged. I want him to do that if it was. Crazy, people. Crazy how this happened. Torp was like, you're putting them up against each other, Reese. No, I'm not, man. This is all what they do. Torp, I'm the news. I cover everything, G. I'm covering this story too. If you guys want to get the full rundown of this story, go ahead and start watching the shorts. Watch the ones that I put up, but more importantly, watch this is the 4th video, because I have 3 premiere videos and now this live stream. Okay, I've been covering this. No one else has been covering this. I've been covering it straight from the jump. And I want you guys to say if this is fake news, and a hot fact set it all up. If I set it all up, people, that means Pedro is working for me. Okay? That means Pedro was working for me. And I know a lot of you guys say that I staged my incident that happened with the 2 stalkers, or who thought we were gang stalkers. I didn't set that shit on up. Are you guys going to say Pedro set this up? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it was staged, or put a 2 if you think it was real. No matter what, I'm already covering this. I'm covering it full out in full detail, and I'm getting it in. I'm getting it in no matter what. I want you guys to really start talking about this. Is Pedro doing whatever he wants to get clicks and views? I want this. Torp, here's your turn to get back at Pedro for saying he led you down a dark path and you never recovered from it. Here's your chance, Torp, to now get into what you say is you control the drama. I'm the person that does the drama. He told me in that video that he did yesterday, no one does drama better than me. Well, you ain't even covering the story. You're so busy trying to cover Lisa Surley. Ain't nothing in that. Ain't nothing in that, G. Ain't nothing in that at all. Torp, here's your chance to now go talk about Pedro and do what you normally do. Okay? You got beef with him. Peter Gozinia does. I have one. DoorDash Revolution does. There's a lot of people. The Gig Machine does. He had it with UDM. He's had it with everybody. He's had it with everybody. He's had it with everybody. He's even going to take Roy's idea. You know how Roy says, I like to talk about more than just gig work. That's why I have different polls and different things going on my channel, because, gig work, ain't everything. You talk about other stuff. So he's going to have Roy and Marcus up there to talk about other stuff. Why won't you go on Roy's channel and talk about the other stuff? Why don't you go on there so Roy can get the extra subs and the extra views and get those super chats and stuff that'll go in because you were there? Why won't you do that? I'm tired of these content creators playing other people the wrong way. Like when you have a StreamYard studio and you don't actually send the email for someone to be a co-host, but you call them a co-host. Stuff like that. Stuff like that, people. There is a business side to everything. Okay? There is. And people always try to be ahead and be the boss of something else. Pedro tried to take control of this situation and say that he is, like he says, he's the big dog in the gig community. He's the big dog. Don't nobody move unless I say so. I remember him having lines like that, dealing with other people and people and him saying this and that. Remember John Billings, right? Pedro turned him down for the collab that they were supposed to do. And Pedro said, well, I thought that, me doing this little interview was a collab. No, you were supposed to collab on a video. All that karma that you put out there with shunning people off and treating them like trash, that dude in your same area wants to whoop your ass. I'm sorry. He wants to whoop your ass. And if you, and I guarantee, if you step to him the next time, you're gonna have to apologize or even go to him and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Before I even approach, I come in peace. I do not want to fight. I come in peace. Let's just look. That's how you're gonna have to approach him. You're gonna have to avoid all eye contact with this gentleman, because eye contact and you may roll your eyes at him or something else like that, and he may get upset and want to charge you like a wild bull. You're going to have to avoid that. You're going to have to start doing more query. You're going to have to try not to go live in the same parking lot if that guy is there. You're going to have to watch over your shoulder all the time because of what you're doing. And I guarantee you ain't going to be doing no type of slick talk right now. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. All your subscribers who go on your channel that watch all your lives, they should be starting an emergency fund kit for Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Just in case you need it, G. Just in case, because you may not be doing gig work for a while. You may take some days off, okay? You may take some days off. You may need these days off, so they may want to start a fund for you. They may want to start doing that for you, Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Okay? They may start doing that to help you out. To help you out. Because I know you ain't gonna be going to the same areas, and I know you ain't gonna be talking to other drivers that watch you in that same area and talking to them, talking crap about that dude, and that dude hears from other drivers in your area that he may know too, that you're talking crap behind the scenes, not on camera. He can go get you for that. So all in all, Pedro, you put yourself into a real tough situation. This ain't dealing with HotFacts and everybody else across the United States. You're dealing with this dude in the same zone. You're dealing with this dude in the same zone. Let me see this right here. Let me do this. Let me do this right here. Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight. How many of you guys know the movie Twins? That was one of my favorite songs in the movie Twins. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me go post a comment right here. Uh-oh, I messed up. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me see. Let me do this. Okay. Come on now. Okay, there it is. And there it is. So the link is there. If anybody has any questions, if anyone wants to know exactly why I wanted to cover this, you all know, people, this is, the Hollywood gig news has stepped up, and it's stepped up. This is the story of the year. This is the gig story of the year so far from Pedro DoorDash Santiago. This is bigger than the blow up from No Giggity No Clout going in on Bud Soda, the stuff that happened, with Cherry Pick and Torp and all the other stuff. This is, so far in of 2024, this is the biggest blow up, the biggest story. This is the scandal. Pedro is sponsored by multiple companies. He's sponsored. He says that he is the big dog. He is the movement of the gig world. The movement of the gig world just got hit by a tidal wave. And this is what we're going to see. How many of these people will talk about it? Now, People were talking about my incident, and they're still talking about it like it was staged all the way up until now. Now, if no one talks about this, that's what they feel about Pedro. Let's not talk about it, man. Let's not bring it up, man. Let's not bring it up. All I know is in any debate or any argument, if Pedro starts talking that crap, all somebody got to say is, man, I'm gonna do you just like the gig machine did you. The gig machine said his little sister will dog walk you. And I was like, dang, is he just saying that just to say it? Nah, I think his little sister might be able to dog walk you. By the way, how he is, and by the way of how he said his brother already G-checked you. If his brother already did that, and you know, sister-in-law, little sister can go ahead and dog walk you, you got some issues. Because not only do you got to deal with him, his brother already had an issue with him, with you. You now got two people that have an issue with you there, Pedro. You got, and their brothers. You don't want to run across two brothers, Pedro, DoorDash, Santiago. You don't want to run across two brothers. Two brothers will do damage when it comes down to it. Hold them for me. Hold them. Let me hit them down. You hold them. Let me hit them. Now call me a miserable human being. Ooh, wee. It's up in there, Pedro. It's up in there. All the Pedro supporters that got his back and they fight for him, you know, through thick and thin. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what happens. Is Mr. Flex going to protect Pedro how he normally does? Is that what he is going to do? Is he going to protect Pedro how he normally does? And if he doesn't, why? We know Flex gives Pedro hundreds of dollars in super chats throughout the year. That's what he does. That's what he does. Remember, Pedro, you had Tammy and J Ron like, oh, Pedro's good. Now, Pedro, all your stuff is coming out, man. All the people that you said. And check this out. Eli is probably going to make a video about this and talk about this too on his live stream, Pedro. Eli is going to say, well, Pedro, I know for sure I can take you now because you ran. Eli is even going to start coming at you, G. Eli is. Now you got to deal with Eli. Come on now. Gig Machine ain't having it. Gig Machine is not having it. I have to go live about this. I'm not going to be live for no 3-4 hours doing this, talking about this. I've already done my 3 premiere videos. Okay. I've already done my 3 premiere videos, and this is a live stream. I have all my shorts. You know, and the craziest thing is when Pedro start talking about this guy wants $500 to do an interview to talk about the glitch. You don't put words in people's mouth. He was upset at me about that. But Pedro, I was just repeating what you said. Then he found out about the $500 from watching one of your videos because he made a short and collabed on it. You put words in his mouth that he never said. You put that on it. And then went about all that stuff. You did that yourself, Pedro. You already put words in his mouth, and he didn't like that. You smoothed it over. Everything was good. Then and then you run into him. You smooth it over, and then you go live, and then you talk about him in that little sarcastic way, like you are the savior. He don't know what he's doing. You're above him, and all this other stuff. That's what you did, and he had enough. He had enough, and hopefully you learn that you can't do that to everybody, Pedro. You cannot do that to everyone, man. And for the most part, I thought it was staged until I saw him hit Pedro's hand down and I heard the animosity in his voice. But people are still going to think that it is staged simply because Pedro said everything was good. You can even ask him. You said you can even ask him, and then this happens. So Pedro, you now look like click baiting, anything for clicks and views clown. We still got to hear your answer on if you got checked by his brother. We still got to hear that. We still got to hear if this is staged, and if it was staged, Why was it staged? And if it was not staged, then, you know, tell us what you were thinking when he walked in and approached you. You got questions you got to answer, and you got to give out to the people that watch your channel and your subscribers. You also say that you were here to help all them out. Well, help them understand this situation. Help them understand the situation, Pedro, DoorDash, Santiago. And don't let Real Talk with Roy sum it up for everybody else. You do it yourself. Don't let Flex do it. Do it yourself. See if Flex is on now. See if Flex is watching this. Oh, what is Reese talking about? What is Reese talking about? Ah, man. I don't watch Flex start saying I don't protect Pedro every time. And people go be in there like Bobby go say BS. No, he's in there talking to Thunder. He's in there talking to Thunder. He's talking to Thunder right now because, you know, he better not. He better not go ahead and jump on the side. Flex was like, you know, Reese was wrong. He was filming at Taco Bell. He was wrong. Flex got a weird opinion on certain things. So, yeah, someone go write Flex and say Reese is talking about you. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. People, we got about 10 minutes left to go in this live stream. I want to get this out as soon after my premiere went up there, and that's what I did. And if anyone wants more coverage on this, you're gonna have to go ahead and get it through Hot Facts with Robert Reese, the official news channel of the gig economy, on this one right here. You know what? I think I'm done. I got everything out loud and clear. People, go ahead and watch this. Share this with everybody because Pedro had this happen to him. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let me hit loop because we going out. We are going out.
Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying?
Okay. There is a content creator in St. Louis. His name, I plugged him last week. We talked about him last week. Some people were thinking I was talking about them. I was talking about No Bumper TV. He's in St. Louis. I've met this man. Okay. You guys are going to see content that he makes, and he's saying this, he's saying that. He's got some choice words for Mr. Bet on You. Okay. I want you guys to know one thing. YouTube is entertainment. Me and that gentleman spoke in person today. I pulled up on him because I knew where he'd be, and we talked like men. So if anybody has any questions, any doubts, if you think that something's going on, go to No Bumper TV, go subscribe. He's a fellow St. Louis Dasher. I want him to be successful, and you can ask him about the conversation we had today. Enough is enough. Nothing else really needs to be said beyond that. Men handle things like that. We handle it like men. We are good. So you guys got to also remember, YouTube is entertainment. Keep that in mind. You come to get entertained. Some of you come for tips and tricks. A lot of you guys have to relax a little bit and take it down. Now let's get on with the show.
Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what an opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what an opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what an opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog. Pedro, go. Yo, you put me in my place? That's what you're saying online? You put me in my place? That's what you're saying? What you want to do, dog? You think you know what an opportunist? Stop playing with me, dog. Stop it. You know you don't want to fucking fight me, dog.